that the comp that gets pulled off are comps that basically really synergize well together. So if you're going to go for a comp, as we are getting the link for the draft of this first game of the series, Burger, this is really hype stuff. You have Ludicity on the left-hand side, Infinity Rebirth on the right-hand side. Koshka, first ban from Ludicity, taking that menacing cat off the fold is really good idea.
Yeah, especially with 2.12, Koshka got a huge buff in that she gets her barrier back when she uses her B ability. And as we see, Grace, another super strong captain, banned away from Infinity Rebirth, and Lance, first pick off of Ludicity. This obviously is a hero they're good at. He can be flexed weapon or captain in this meta. And it'll be interesting to see how Rebirth will counterpick this one.
Yeah, I actually like the Lance pickup. Okay, even though Lance can possibly get quite countered easily by, let's say, Vox, by actually a lot of kiting heroes, Vox is still very possible.
Cruel
coming out. Cruel is very strong right now. A lot of people say he's broken. I would slightly agree with this. However, can't possibly be shut down. If a lot of people do not know, he got a buff on his perk in the 2.12 patch where the cooldown on his I forget what the name of his perk is.
Shadows Empower Me.
Bingo. There you go. It got a buff on the cooldown from 1.5 seconds to 1 second, and then the speed boost went from, I believe, 2% to 2.5%. So that's really strong for the Cruel. Vox ban coming out from Infinity Rebirth, taking that CP Vox off the table, and then Ludicity banning away the Arden. Really wise choice. There's three very strong captains are either picked or banned right now.
Yeah, the captains are really being targeted here in this draft, as we see Grace, Lance, and Arden off the table. And that leaves, some other captains on the table, like an Adagio or like, Rome Glaive or some sort of crazy stuff.
Well, one logical support would be Fortress.
Yeah.
As we do see a Finn.
Finn! Oh, this is interesting because Finn is extremely slow and he's not really good at diving like Cruel wants to do. But I think it's a wise choice because Lance has an insane amount of crowd control and Finn is immune to all of the crowd control abilities. And so if Ludicity, as they pick up Kestrel Sky here, that's a breaking point machine and a half right there, especially on Finn, who's super tanky, and he can really be susceptible to this kind of the stuff, as we see Celeste being picked up here as the final pick for Infinity Rebirth.
Okay, so the comps on both teams have been very decent overall. The Finn, I feel, was definitely a spanner in the works coming out from Infinity Rebirth. I didn't expect that. I was gonna say Fortress because Fortress and Cruel really strong, especially early game if the Fortress gets a Dragon Blood contract. However, they've gone for a Finn. Yes, Finn hasn't been in the meta for a good while, Burger. I believe 3 or 4 patches. He's really fallen off, patch after patch. However, I believe with the release of 5v5 overall and the kind of slight movement speed that Finn got, I think he is getting more into the meta. Yes, the likes of Sky and Kestrel can build up stacks quite easily on the Finn, but let's not forget that you've got Celeste on your side who's going to play a strong part in the late game zoning, positioning, and dominance that can potentially come out from Infinity Rebirth, Burger. So both comps are strong and do counter each other somewhat. I think late game, Infinity Rebirth all the way. Early to mid game can definitely be taken by Ludicity. It all comes down to how each team plays, hits their power spikes, and then takes advantage of said power spikes.
Yep, and as we're loading into this first game here on the Fold, this is going to be an exciting one. I agree with you. I do think the late game is definitely leaning towards Lucidity because they've got, Kestrel and Sky, who are two extremely late game focused heroes once they get, their 3-4 items that they require. But Suki, Celeste is the definition of a late game hero. Once she hits level 8, level 12, her item spikes with those heliogenesis, it's going to start doing a lot of damage. And Selma, he's got the early game down. If you can snowball with the Cruel, he can get way ahead and get his items that he needs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing to point out. Because of the buff that came out from Cruel Burger, I feel that actually Shiver Seed isn't really needed on the Cruel, so therefore it does leave an item slot open for, let's say, more defense or more offense, as the mid-century is secured by Ludicity. That's wise by Infinity not to really kind of chase it or not to look engaged. Just let it go, because late game will come to the advantage of Infinity Rebirth. So by not pushing too far in the early game, they're really playing it nice and safe so far, and really good stuff coming out from them. So passive early game, but it makes sense based on each team's comp.
Yeah, passive early game might just what they need here, as BlueStacks is already going to be porting home. That's going to be, another weapon blade, and those are boots also that he's going to pick up, which gives him a slight advantage over Tsuki, and so he can push that lane faster while Lemmy roam Vox, who's ironically not roaming Vox, will help down to this second mid treant and giving that extra gold to Sweaty while he's in this this very late game focus will let him scale really quickly.
Well, I think the power spikes coming out from each team. You look at 2 Sweaty on the Sky, the Dragon's Eye will be a power spike item that they will look to take advantage of. And then when you have BlueStacks, you're going to look at let's say the Sour Blade, which is going to be strong, as someone does catch out Let Me Roam Vox. As we do see a small issue with Burger right now. I do apologize. I will try and take over for you guys to keep the hype going before we get Burger back in there. As you do see, Infinity Rebirth are going into the enemy side of Ludicity Gaming, trying to kind of, get a little bit back into this game, not fall down too much to the early mid-game. Selmo and Cornico, my apologies, do work well together. Cruel and Fiend do provide a lot of defense. We're going to see this early game damage coming out from 2 Sweaty is paying off a little bit with those basic attacks going into forward barrage is going to help do a lot for them so far. So yeah, each team, it's passive, 3.5 minutes into this game. Very little goal difference between the 2 teams, as we are seeing. The mid-century was secured by Selma, and that will help them look to try to engage onto 2 Sweaty. 2 Sweaty does move out of the way with the Sorry Strike, but he isn't stopping Selma from getting on to with the core collapse going on to him, slowing down with the Impale. Does not do enough to save 2 Sweaty, and 2 Sweaty does go down for the 3rd kill of the game for Infinity Rebirth, and now that does leave Selma to invade the jungle even more for that team. That is the mid-game, or early mid-game, should I say, is helping to go back over to Infinity Rebirth. Not what Ludicity really wants at this stage. It's 4 minutes in. The turret does go down already, so that's really strong stuff coming out from Infinity Rebirth. Even though the stats does go down, getting the turret out of the way early on will make a big difference for this team, as I am still waiting for Burger to look to join me onto the fold to cast this match. I'm going to be trying to do this solo for you guys. So believe in the hype, believe in this game between these 2 teams. It is single elimination with BlueStacks do this really disgusting, fantastic basic attack and glimmer shot damage, looking just to chunk down this Finn quite hard even early on. It will require a lot of defense coming out from the Fiend, which will try and help him survive and tank these, poke damage that's going to come out from Ludicity Gaming. So I do like the fact that 2 Sweaty has, a good amount of CC on the side of Ludicity, is going to look to get back to this. And Burger, you are back with us, buddy. No, not quite. I do apologize.
Yep.
No, he is. Yes, he is. I don't know what is going on, but I'm just going to continue this hype, this match for you guys, just to try and get this match going. It's more passive, a little bit more structure between the two teams, as we've seen in previous NACL matches. This is what I like, because we're getting to the elimination stage of the NACL, where the winner takes all in terms of the loser goes out of the tournament in this season 5, as these two teams are fighting and battling out. Burger, you are back with us, buddy.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Happens to the best of us, but I am back, and we see the Infinity doing a 3-man rotate here. Selma's going to dive onto Vox, but he's going to back off a little bit as Kestrel is managing to get out. Her positioning isn't going to be punished all that much, as the rotation doesn't really amount to anything here.
Yeah, exactly. And just while you were away, we saw a really good advantage going over to Infinity Rebirth. Burger, they took the first turret. They are now 2.5k gold ahead. Considering they really have a late game comp, they're doing a great job of securing even the kind of early to mid game stage of this match. Dragon's Eye has come out from Too Sweaty, so that is definitely a decent power spike. Solar Blade coming out from Kessler, and look at this, really decent poke damage with the 4 barrage, as Infinity Rebirth look to focus onto the gold mine.
Yeah, they're taking this gold mine here, and Vox is going to spot it out with a well-placed flare, but there's not a whole lot they can do about it right now. I don't think, unless some insane steal comes out, but that body blocking is going to be there, and Cruel's going to pick it up. As Kestrel is just sieging this turret, it's down to about a quarter health, but he's going to back off, and that forward barrage is going to make sure that the chase doesn't happen.
Yeah, so that was definitely well worthwhile, even though the turret wasn't taken. On the side of Ludicity, I kind of got that they were trying to, let's say, steal the gold mine, but what they should have done was they should have rotated up as a 3-man team and secured the first turret on the side for them, and that would have kind of helped negate the gold mine take from Infinity Rebirth. So recognize that when you're not really going to win or secure really quite confidently an objective in one part of the map, look to secure an objective in another part of the map, Burger. So that's something that I hope Ludicity will learn from and then look to bring forward into the rest of this game.
Here comes an engage. Those Helios already chunking down blue, 365 damage already. Solar Storm is in basically Sweaty's entire health bar, as they're gonna have to rotate back. We see forward barrage gonna make sure the chase doesn't happen, but that Stargo Supernova, that's gonna kill Stacks. As Selma waiting in the bush down here, and he comes on a Sweaty, doing a little bit of damage. Vox is gonna boot him away, but that huge Heliogenesis just gonna take him down. Kuro Nico doing a good job protecting his team as this siege continues onto the second turret. The Pulga is gonna get both of them. Here comes Selma, gonna get stunned up into the turret, rooted down, but that's a huge attack there by Tsuki, and that turret is going to fall. That's a huge advantage by Infinity Rebirth.
Yeah, that was just really good stuff coming out from them. I like the fact that Suki was kind of focusing on the objective. Great force support that came in from the Finn to help secure the kill onto Kessler, as we do see slight opposite engage coming out from the two teams.
Yep, it's a good rotation. Sweaty is going to be a little bit low health. He's going to dodge the core collapse, and we see Sweaty taking some damage, but he's going to back off. The sword barely misses, and that's a Solar Storm going to connect onto him. Selma's going to tank that one-shot, one-kill, and he's going to get caught in the trap there, bonked into the wall. CC chains starting up, and Stacks is going to take damage, avoiding the Solar Storm, but there's not a whole lot he can do as he's running away. He's going to fall as well. The lack of defense really biting him, as Lemmy Rome Vox is going to be forced to back away.
And also, one thing to point out, because you have no real frontline offense coming out from Ludicity game, and I really didn't mention this much in draft. It's something I really should have focused on, because there's no real frontline offense. Celeste has just a really kind of easy time in the backline. You've got great frontline defense and offense coming out from Infinity Rebirth. Finn is a tank. He's a monster. He's a troll that is just able to really soak up the offense coming out from Ludicity. And as I said, because there's nobody being able to get onto Kestrel, being able to get onto Celeste. Celeste has just free stacks, free reign to just really zone out and position those Helios at the perfect place. And we don't talk about how well or how strong those Helios are in terms of zoning an enemy team and actually putting them in a compromising position. And when you have Cruel on your team, Burger, that means that if you zone out right, you give a lot easier chance for the Cruel to engage successfully on the enemy team. So just really overall structure plays coming out from Infinity Rebirth.
Yeah, and if we look at Celeste's inventory, she's already got 4 items completed at the 11-minute mark. That's going to be very scary for Ludicity as like you said, they don't have a frontline jungler. And so if you're Suki, it's just free reign over the Helios. And Kuroniko is doing a great job just standing in the front and body blocking these forward barrages. And especially because Sky doesn't have defenses, BlueStacks gets pulled in. He's going to die almost immediately. But no, he's getting saved by the fountain. He gets stunned up by Force Accord, and he's going to go down very quickly. Sweaty going to be the next target. Selma is just sustaining. And Lemmy Roamvox, yet again, the only member of his team left alive.
Yeah, and one thing that I had thought about, but again, I kind of did mention as the turret looks to be secured, again, on the side of Infinity Rebirth, that will be the choke turret, is you actually have really strong CC coming out from Infinity Rebirth, because if you think about it, you got the Force Accord going into the Core Collapse, going into the From Hell's Heart, going into the Quibble. It is so much for Ludicity to deal with, as well as the fact that Ludicity have quite a squishy comp. Yes, Sky's able to reposition quite easily, but Kestrel, if she's caught in any of those CC traps, she's shut down. That's it. So that is something that Ludicity really have to be careful of as we're getting another engagement.
Oh, there's stacks. He's going to block up the stun, but it's not going to matter. Just the amount of damage coming out is too great. Sweaty, again, deleted instantly. And Lemmy Roamvox going to get stunned by From Hell's Heart. There comes the pull in from Quibble. He's going to get stunned up again. Another stun, and that's an ace. 13 minutes. There's the gold mine going over.
That was the perfect example. You saw the From Hell's Heart going into the Core Collapse, going into the Quibble. It was the definition of exactly what I said. So it just gives Infinity Rebirth so much control in these team fights. They are at the 10k gold point ahead in this match, Burger. They're going to secure another gold mine. I believe the Crystal Century is eliminated on the side of Ludicity. So that just means that Infinity Rebirth, and one thing to point out is Finn, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, is still doing a fantastic job of getting great vision out there, using the flares, using scout traps to his team's advantage by even just giving more pressure against Ludicity. So really good stuff coming out from Infinity Rebirth. They are going to look to engage further into the side of Ludicity and maybe look to make this game a quick finish. But no, they are just going to look to pour back with the Solar Storm.
Oh, there's a Solar Storm. BlueStacks is already being forced into base to heal. And talk about pressure. You saw them just straight up 3-man walk into the base. The base is cracked wide open for Infinity Rebirth, and one more ace. They don't even need a Kraken as it spawns up in about 30 seconds. They're just waiting for Sky to come down and try to take some farm, but they're going to get spotted out, and that's going to be the go button. BlueStacks getting stunned up, 600 damage. Helio fountain already popped. Force Accord is going to miss. So does Solar Storm, but Sweaty down already. The Githian wall just a little bit too late. And Lemmy Roamvox is just out of position to help his team. The damage coming out of Tsuki is just ridiculous. And they're just going to steal the camps and leave Selma to try to chase down this very slippery knight.
If I was Suki, I would actually think about selling the reflex block. I don't think the Celeste needs a reflex block, even though it is definitely a little bit of a kind of go hard, go home. But when you think of the frontline defense and structure that's coming out from the from Infinity Rebirth, the Celeste really doesn't need a reflex block. Get another
Kraken
damage item.
is unleashed. Yeah, you said go hard or go home. Infinity Rebirth is certainly going hard. They've got a Kraken pushing, and whew, that was close.
Okay, so Suki has sold the reflex block, but gone for weapon power defense. Quite clever, because Kestrel is definitely starting to chunk down a bit more of Suki's health and kind of using those crit damage of the Sorrow Blade Tyrants just to kind of chunk down Suki a little bit more. So it's definitely a wise choice, as the Kraken is bearing down onto Ludicity's Vain base, and it's gonna be, you know, let's not forget that Suki is great at sieging these turrets, especially with a great front line.
Yep, there goes the death from above, gonna stun them up as Kraken's gonna take some damage. But Selma, here comes the Force Accord. It's blocked out from Hell's Heart, and Lemirom Vox getting chunked down. Sweaty already in his base, so close to death. And this second turret's gonna fall. Kraken's still very healthy, and this looks like game 1 going to Infinity Rebirth.
That was just really great, impressive play coming out from them. The comp definitely somewhat interesting, different, but it made sense. It worked because they knew the Celeste was gonna stay safe in this game. Yeah, nobody was able to get onto the Celeste. This is where I talk about Too Sweaty played a really decent Sky, but once he hit the Dragon's Eye, what does make the Sky potentially really dangerous is because the Sky's able to kind of really reposition herself completely in the opposite direction. So she should have been the hero that would, Too Sweaty should have been the player to have gotten onto the Celeste, even if he had gone down, let's say, quicker than normal in the process. It then would have given a slight better freedom for BlueStack to, let's say, have chunked either the Celeste down or maybe even possibly the Finn. So, you know, not the wisest of draft choices coming out from Ludicity, but Infinity Rebirth countered them so perfectly with that Celeste.
Yeah, as we're gonna get into the second game real shortly, and so again, the mental game. It's just as important as the physical game here in Vainglory, not getting tilted. And so if you are Ludicity right now, you just got this first game handed to you very, very hard. And so what do you have to do as a team that's down to get back into the game here?
Because their draft initially was definitely a good choice. They picked up the Lance, even though I said not quite in the meta. Not a bad choice, and they did ban quite nicely, but when it came to the last two picks, that's what lost them the draft, because they've got to think ahead. So if they think, okay, let's pick Kestrel Sky, great against Finn, but you leave Samuel and Celeste, as you saw, but you leave those heroes that are able to do a lot of damage from the back line to choke down your team without anybody getting onto it. So that's where they've got to think slightly more ahead of the draft a little bit better, and then if they draft a little bit better, they will then be able to just maintain a slightly stronger control of this match. But it's definitely going to be hard, because Infinity Rebirth impressed me very much in that first game.
Yep, and we're loading in the second draft here very shortly, and so do you think that they're going to go back to this comp that they just played here, or do you think that they want to try something else, you know, switch it up so that, you know, you might draft against the Celeste and the Finn this time, or, you know, it's gonna be really interesting, as all of these games are. And the second game is going to be underway very shortly. Just need these draft links, as the wonderful Vainsocial has provided for us. And as we get into the second game, really going to be interested to see how the teams bounce back. And bouncing back can always be really good, and especially if you're down, coming back to force that third game can do wonders to your opponent.
Well, yeah, like, look, Ludicity, they're one game down. They've got to really like pull it out of the bag in the second game. They've got nothing to lose, and Burger, they've just got everything to gain by going in hard on a draft. Pick these kind of heroes that are, let's say, maybe a little bit stronger in the meta. Kestrel, by all means, not out of the meta, but not in the meta. So, yeah. You got to kind of just make sure that you just draft a little bit better and then just go into the game full ham. I'm really interested about what is going to happen on both sides.
Hey,
Rebirth,
pardon me, we have to restart the draft.
Yeah, we are just being told we're just kind of looking to just restart the draft. I do apologize for any delay, guys. Get your hype in the chat on who you want to see win between these two teams. Hashtag Ludicity, hashtag Infinity, because this game is gonna come down to the wire. I feel even if Infinity Rebirth would take this second game and take a 2-0 series win, I really feel that Ludicity have it in them to take it down right to the wire against Infinity Rebirth. Maybe potentially sneak that second game in and take it to a 3-game series. I'm really excited about what is gonna go down between these two teams, Burger.
Yeah, and as once we finish this game, there's another series still yet to be played, so don't go anywhere. And so as we get into this draft, hopefully soon, just got a bit of technical issues. Sorry about that, everyone. It happens to the best of us. So if we do see the same comp out of Infinity Rebirth, how do you think that they should counter it on the side here of Ludicity?
Yeah, look, if it's gonna be a similar same comp coming out from Infinity Rebirth, Ludicity just have to pick a frontline hero, maybe a Koshka, maybe an Alpha. An Alpha would definitely be a strong hero to pick against both a Finn and a Celeste, and maybe even a Cruel or even possibly a Rhyme. However, we are into the draft this second game, so time will tell. We're about to find out. Again, Koshka is banned off the fold. My furry cat-loving friend is again being taken off the table by Infinity Rebirth as a first ban. She is so strong right now. Ludicity, they could go for a target ban of either Cruel or Celeste. However, that would leave Vox wide open for the taken by Infinity Rebirth, which I feel, based on the synergy we saw, caused a lot of issues for Ludicity. So time will tell. What do you think is going to be the first ban coming out from Ludicity, Burger?
Yeah, Cruel. I was literally about to say either Celeste or Cruel, the heroes that demolished them so hard in the first game. And so by banning away the Cruel, that's taking another option off the table for Infinity, and maybe forcing them to rethink their strategy a little bit. I'd like to see them not go for a carry first pick, because that might give too much away, and especially in the second game where you want to just close out, that that could be something really good for them to pick up, an Ardent, to pick up something else that would be stronger for them. Alright, as this draft will keep on rolling, and Arden is going to be the first pick off of Infinity, just like, maybe Imperium's not the only mind reader here, but as we go into Lucidity, I'd like to see them play something like a Lyra, maybe, that could counter all three of Arden's abilities when played right.
Yeah, Arden would definitely, should I say, Lyra would definitely be somewhat of a strong pick, at least as a counter to the Arden, but I just don't think Lyra is quite in the meta. If we're gonna look at captains, I feel Grace is just the best counter to Arden right now, because you have the double divine intervention late game with the Echo coming out from Grace. So yeah, Lyra not a bad choice, but Grace I just feel is so strong in the meta. However, we could see Vox come out from Ludicity as their first pick, because they do have that second pick, and then they could ban. Sorry, they have that second ban, and they could ban a hero to directly counter the Vox. So because let's say Kruna's off the table, so's Koshka. If you pick up CP Vox, you take Alpha off the table, you got 3 of the strongest junglers off the table, but they do go for a Lance. They really do love this Lance, Burger.
Yeah, everybody loves Lance now, you know, the one trick. Myself included, I'm a one-trick Lance, but it's alright. And the second ban here, maybe we'd want to see the Celeste, possibly, getting banned out of Ludicity, as, you know, it demolished them so well in the first game, and especially if you're going to target the Cruel. But no, they're going to go with Taka, taking away even more jungle options.
Yeah, taking away the Taka is... I actually feel a targeted ban to what Ludicity want to play as the rest of their comp. So it's not a bad choice. I really feel maybe if we're going to look to take another jungler off the fold, Alpha would have probably been stronger, because even though Taka is very annoying, Burger, it is possible to shut down better and easier and quicker than an Alpha, because Alpha is so tanky right now. Got a buff with those stacks where they last up to 8 seconds on her stacks, and that means she's just able to kind of go in and out of a team fight so nicely, as Infinity Rebirth takes less off the fold. And that's not a bad choice, because with the Taka being banned, it really felt like they were, let's say, going for a Celeste, but they do pick up Vox. Vox is strong right now, so they've got Vox and Lance. I don't quite think Vox and Lance work the absolute best together, though, Burger, so I'm interested to see what Ludicity will pull out as their third, let's say, either go with the Vox or with the Lance.
Yeah, I'm feeling Rhyme here as the jungler for Infinity, and they're gonna go with Adagio, probably gonna be flexed weapon lane to counter Vox. But what Vox and Lance rely on so much is mobility, and if you can cut down the mobility on the side, then that's all of their damage output basically taken away. And especially as an Adagio, who's got the longest range on his basic attacks of any hero right now, especially with the buff that he got in 2.12, that he can outrange Vox, and especially if it's a CP Vox, outranging his resonance bounces, and really taking their time in this draft. Not a very quick draft like it was first game, and Samuel is going to be their third and final pick.
I don't quite agree with Samuel, because again, you want to pick a hero that's going to shut down Vox. Alpha was open, Burger. Alpha with the weapon power range coming out from Adagio, plus even though it's weapon power, the gift of fire healing would have been really strong, as Rona's picked up.
Rona, yeah.
Lance and Rona as a combo are really strong and do work well together when played right, coming out from Ludicity. I really feel like they've won that draft. However, Infinity Rebirth, they played a strong first game. If they can go into the second game with the same mentality, only, let's say, adjust their playstyle slightly to suit their comp, and may take advantage of these power spikes, they could take the second game. I feel it's going to go over to Ludicity, though, with that Lance Rona combo. Plus, they're going to have a mid to late game spike coming out from the Vox. Will round out their comp really nicely, Burger.
Yeah, I'm leaning Infinity Rebirth on this one personally, because Arden's going to provide some really good barriers to negate the burst that's going to come out of Rona's first engagement, and Adagio can heal. He can damage boost, and especially if Samuel is kiting away, once those movement abilities have been used for Ludicity, then, you know, that's Samuel it's just his playground inside the Drifting Dark to just do so much damage and clean up.
Yeah, but you're going to have the Rona that's just going to be kind of like looking to shut down this Samuel so nicely. So I think that's going to play into the hands of Ludicity really nicely, Burger.
Yep, and we see these teams loading onto the fold here. And just normal rotations going to be taken out. Samuel doesn't have the best clear speed at level 1, and so maybe if Ludicity wants to punish that a little bit, they can swoop in and take this mid-treant first off, as Night Owl going to be sporting that beautiful golden lance skin.
Indeed, it's absolutely fantastic golden lance skin. With that, a lot of these dancing that we do see from that lance walk, as you do see the mid-century.
Oh, it's going over to Suki. He took that up. Oh, Night Owl is so low already. Those Malice and Verdict are already punching in. And they're pushed back way in their own jungle. Infinity Rebirth definitely has won this first engagement. As Rona will get away to Sweaty going over to look for some jungle steals maybe? Oh no, he's just going to port back.
I think he's realized that the rest of Infinity Rebirth have also ported back. So that was actually really good by Too Sweaty. He caused a distraction, kind of made Infinity Rebirth think that he was going to go.
But Kuroniko is caught out here. BlueStacks doing damage, but is it going to be enough? Here comes Rhoda, and it is going to be enough. First blood to Ludicity.
Yeah, it's definitely a small bit of staying asleep onto the side of Infinity Rebirth. They've got to be careful of that.
You've got to be careful indeed, as BlueStacks here going to take some damage, but Selma is with 1 HP away. He's got the Malice and Verdict to do damage, and there comes Kuroniko to protect him. Regenerating up with a Cursed Genius a little bit, hurt. But Kuroniko's going to get rooted again. Mortal Wounds taking him down, and he might fall here. Selma is doing a great job of sustaining. Misses that Mouse and Verdict, gets stunned into the wall, and this might be it for him. Yep, that will be it. The huge sword coming down from Lance to take him out. And 3-0 already up for Ludicity. Good start for them.
Well, I called it. That Lance Rona combo. Burger is just doing wonders for them right now. You know, Lance is able to provide so much CC, so much shutdown, and once, whether it's an Impale or getting what, it just provides so much room and chance for the Rona to just really jump onto the enemy team, as they do get this mid-century again. Their gold lead is increased by up to over 1.2k gold. Infinity Rebirth is
Selma gonna get stunned into the wall. He's got to be so careful. He's by himself in this jungle. Samuel, a super squishy target, and he's kiting the wrong way, away from his team. This is just an invitation for Ludicity to kill him again. Unless he can get out, he's run out of options. He's doing it CC comboed into the wall, and that will be the end of the Techno Mage here. But Suki's doing a good job pushing his turret. He's got the wave pushed in, so it's going to be up to Ludicity now to defend against this push.
It is, but that's just not going to be enough. And one thing is great by Ludicity, but they've now got to try to turn this into map objectives, whether it's a turret, whether it's even now that your jungle has intensified. If they do look to invade again, that they take out, let's say, the Crystal Sentry Burger, just to try and help increase their strength in this map, because it's all well and good getting the kills, and they are up kills 4-1, which is giving them a little bit of gold. If you're not turning that into a map or a game advantage overall in your long run, you're just going to give the enemy team a slight more chance of going into the late game and then dominating your team later on. So, you know, Ludicity have just got to be aware of that.
Oh, Selma just dances around that Impale. But this 3-minute rotation up here from Infinity as Selma goes back to its jungle, that was good. They should have capitalized that, in my opinion, because they had the advantage. BlueStacks is low, Rona's not available to be found, and with healing flasks available on Selma and Kuroniko, they could have just pushed that and maybe taken a turret, like you say, as the objectives are what win you games here in Vainglory.
Exactly, but let's not forget that Suki is just kind of looking to skate up a little bit nicely, as you see the engagement.
Suki getting booped backwards, but he's gonna back off perfectly fine. Level 6 hitting for him and Sweaty. He's gonna be out of energy here a little bit, so not a whole lot more utility that Adagio's gonna provide. And Stax is gonna port back here, pick up his alternating current, which is gonna give him a big spike as a CP box. Suki's gonna port back, pick up his heavy steel as well. Already got that poison shiv online. which is going to be great against Rona, canceling out all of her healing.
Yeah, the Poison Shiv first item was actually interesting coming out of Suki. I kind of initially didn't think it was going to be a spell sword, but the Poison Shiv makes sense, as you correctly pointed out, against mortal wounds coming out from Rona. So definitely not a bad choice. However, I'd still like to see him pick up spell sword as a second item, or maybe even crit.
Oh, Selma just getting lit up here. It's CC chained into the bush, and they're just gonna have to back off here. Fighting in choke points like this is definitely not something that Infinity Rebirth wants to do, especially with Samuel, as Sweaty's gonna jump but not gonna find any connections. Suki getting caught out a bit, dodges away the impale, but BlueStacks doing a lot of damage already with just this first item. He's gonna drop the hammer, stuns him up, and here comes the Samuel ult as well. Selma just standing right in the middle, but Suki's gonna take him out. Fountain gets popped. Rona on the receiving end of this damage now, just backing off. Gonna pop that flask to stay alive. Kuronico contesting, and here comes Selma. Gonna clean up with these huge mage spikes, but it's not gonna be enough. Too Sweaty will take him out and will survive another day.
Yeah, but now we see Infinity Rebirth. Suki is just looking to take this turret down. Doesn't quite, but does chunk it down.
Oh, the fortified health was too much. Kuronico falls. Suki's also so low, but the massive damage boosted Adagio is just too strong for BlueStacks.
Yeah, a little bit of kind of like messy overall plays between the two teams going on. Infinity Rebirth did quite a decent bit to get back into this game, but by dying and just being chunked down a little bit too much between the Arden and the Samuel, they just didn't really help themselves so much. Adagio is really coming into his own with a breaking point second item that's going to play a strong card in looking to either shut down the box or the Rona in the elongated team fight.
Yeah, but look how much damage Selma took there from just those 2 bounces off of BlueStacks. He's going to have to really be careful, or he's going to start picking up some shield. And we see the rolling in from Night Owl. He's going to catch Suki. It's going to get CC chained into the wall. Too much damage. Fountain going to get popped, but not in time. And it's just Kuronico left here as this turret siege has begun. Here comes the ult, and it's going to stun up 2 of them. Too Sweaty taking turret shots now. He's going to have to back out as Infinity Rebirth will successfully defend this push. But if they take any more kills, it's up to them, as Selma will fall to the huge smack from Rona. Kuronico, the only one left to take this push, but I think it's not going to be enough. The first turret is going to go to Ludicity, and Kuronico, he's so low, but he managed to get out.
What did I tell you? I told you Ludicity was going to take this game down to the wire, and if they were going to push Infinity Rebirth, they were going to push them hard, and by God are they doing it in this game. They are over 2k gold ahead. They've got the first turret advantage, but they've got to be careful because Suki is looking to push this wave a little bit nicely, maybe take a little bit of an advantage of a lack of awareness, but no, BlueStacks does come back up with all of
the root and the boot backwards. That damage is just so strong. He's gonna get the ult off, but it's barely gonna do anything as Sweaty is ridiculous amounts of damage. Selma still fighting in these choke points and still getting CC chained, exactly what he doesn't want to do as Samuel, and he's just gonna fall to the amount of sustain that Sweaty is bringing out.
Yeah, the sustain after sustain after sustain, plus the Shiver Seal was just really slowing down Samuel. I am surprised at the Shiver Seal's second item, Burger, and not a Breaking Point. Breaking Point I felt would have been just a little bit stronger in an elongated team fight situation, because you know, you've got Lance on your team. You don't really need the slow of the Shiver Steel because you have both the Impale and the Gitty Wall, as you do see.
Oh, that CC chain is so huge. Kuronico already forced out. Sweaty about half health, but that doesn't even matter. We'll just avoid the ult from Samuel, as Night Owl looking to just contest a little bit, do a little bit of harass damage, and it's just going to be a rotation up. What Infinity Rebirth needs to do is stop taking fights in these mustache bush choke points, because Lance is just stunning up Selma and he's so squishy that he's just getting deleted instantly. But they will get a turret out of this one, Imperium.
Yeah, it's good, but we're now going to see what Ludicity are going to do.
Oh, what they're going to do is CC combo Adagio into Oblivion, and Selma is doing some damage with this Malice and Verdict. He's got full Dragon Eye stacks, but the gold mine is going to be started for Ludicity here. This is a very different team than we saw the first game.
Well, definitely. That's because they have an absolutely fantastic combo on their team of Lance and Rona. It's like, I said that's what they needed to do after first game, Burger. They needed to draft that little bit better, pick heroes that match each other. And Fox, even as a CP, is able to be quite aggressive. Has the alternating current and the Dragon's Eye, so building up those Dragon's Eye stacks while Lance and Rona are in the front line is going to be really positive for their team and in the team fight situation. So this is really strong stuff. They're also playing a lot more structured game, Burger, I do feel, than in the last game. They're rotating slightly better. They only got caught out on that turret, which is, yeah, something they shouldn't do. But when you're rotating as a three-man team, you can slightly forgive them for that because they did win the team fight and took the gold mine after that. So really impressive stuff from Ludicity in the second game.
Yep, and Selma on this Samuel here, he's not doing too hot. He's way down in farm, and as Ludicity is going to interrupt me with a huge engage, Sweaty is just going in. He's doing so much damage, and Selma is just going to get deleted instantly. Fountain's going to be popped to keep Suki alive, but he's going to get chased out. Sweaty just doing what he does best, sweating, doing so much damage onto Kuronico, and that will be enough to bring him down. Adagio holding his own, but he will get the ult off barely, heal himself for a bit more sustain, and Lance doesn't have damage really to do anything, but he will stun up, and that's an ace for Ludicity.
Yeah, but it wasn't quite the ace that I feel is going to give them a huge advantage. They're not going to get the turret. They are going to take down the Crystal Sentry, which is definitely good by them to, let's say, use the ace to their advantage. But if they had a focus on the Adagio, they could have gotten both the turret and the Crystal Sentry. Even if they hadn't have gotten an ace, the Arden wouldn't have been able to have defended the turret. So you gotta pick your fights. Rona, stick with the Lance, get the hero, get the kill when you can, and then look to move on to that. He chased the Arden, got the Arden down, then came back and got the Adagio, but it didn't really play too much to their advantage overall in team fight. So good, but I feel it could be slightly better for Ludicity.
Yeah, and they're reading your mind, Imperium. They're just pushing in right here, trying to take this jungle away from Infinity Rebirth. And there goes the Drifting Dark, doing a bit of damage. Selma's gonna be forced to kite away, and he kited the wrong way, Sweaty jumping on him, but he's gonna be fine here, as Ludicity's gonna be forced away here. Maybe gonna start up that final gold mine.
The final gold mine, getting it before the Kraken does spawn, would definitely be a good idea, but don't forget all of Infinity Rebirth are off.
Yep, and we see a bit of engage. Gauntlet goes down. Kuronico going so low, though. Mortal Wound's gonna make sure he doesn't stay alive. And BlueStack's taking a lot of damage from these basic attacks, but so does Selma with the bounces. And here it comes the comeback that Infinity Rebirth so desperately needs, especially with Kraken spawning in 30 seconds. That's 2 kills and Night Owl only left, and this second turret might just fall right here.
The aggression coming out from Suzuki, they absolutely just all fear, no fear, just flight.
Yes, all fear.
Adagio. All fear, no fear, just flight. Don't confuse me, Burger. But yeah, the Adagio is just doing a really good job at kind of taking the attitude of, if I'm going to go down, I might
they're gonna get stunned out of the backs right there. That was a bit of a cheeky play there from Night Owl. And Suki's gonna get jumped on, Oblivion not gonna connect, and he might even fall here. The shield doing so good to keep him alive, and Lance will fall, but so will Adagio. Selma is just gonna be relied on to do damage, but there's not a whole lot of that damage you can do when you're dead. And Kuronico barely gonna get out. and this Crystal Sentry gonna fall, and maybe even with Rona, they can start up this Kraken, a very scary situation for Infinity Rebirth.
Indeed, that was really good stuff coming out from them. Infinity Rebirth were caught napping somewhat after the initial fight win. They should have just poured it back, but no. Lance played a really good game of just kind of like distracting them, baiting them against
Here comes
Rona.
Kuro. He might try to steal it, but that was the wrong... Oh, he was so close. It just bounced off of him and took the Kraken, and that's gonna... That might be looking for a win right here as a full health Kraken marching down, and 30 seconds still on this captain.
Indeed, it's really strong stuff coming out from Ludicity in the second game. They are really shutting Infinity Rebirth down hero by hero. There's not really much Adagio is going to be able to do to defend any kind of strong push. You don't want to go down. You want to maybe just do a little bit of hiding. Try and keep building up those stacks on 3 breaking point stacks right now, as the Kraken is barely being touched so far.
Yeah, Weapon Adagio does a pretty good job at taking Krakens, but when you've got a full team to contest with, especially that great gauntlet from Kuronico, gonna make sure that they can't really go anywhere or engage. And now they're just gonna focus on this Kraken, hopefully take it down, but it's gonna get at least one more turret, I feel, right here before they can do anything about it. And Ludicity is just gonna be content with taking their jungle and porting back to heal up.
Indeed. Just, you know, nice by Infinity Rebirth to really just survive that push. It was, I believe, a 2-turret push or 1.5 turret push that came out from the Kraken. So good by Ludicity. You got the 3 choke point turrets now down. It's only literally the one, should I say, Vain Crystal turret. So that does mean that with the Rona on a breaking point Serpent's Mask build, we'll be able to trunk this turret really nicely if he is given a chance with either Lance or the Vox. So Infinity Rebirth really have to play a careful game in this 80-minute mark.
Yeah, they have to play extremely carefully, but one more good Kraken push from Infinity Rebirth could bring this back, as they only have 3 turrets to contest as well, and especially as these respawn timers are going to get longer and longer. What Infinity Rebirth just needs to play a bit of a turtle game right now. Just make sure Selmok can position himself well, and if you can position well as a Samuel, you're much more effective, as they're gonna jump back on him, CC chaining him. The Oblivion is gonna get blocked up, and he's already dead. There's nothing they can do. Fountain gonna be popped to no avail, and the CC combo is just disgusting. The Echo Githian wall comes out, and Kuronico, he's barely able to keep himself alive, fountaining himself, but Suki's the only one left here. He's got 12 breaking points next, so he's got a fair bit of damage, but not a whole lot that he can do against a 3-man team.
No, not much, but he did scare off Ludicity quite well. And you talk about the turtle game that Infinity Rebirth need to try and pull out. They weren't quite the heroes in the half.
Here comes the Kraken
in that team fight, as this Kraken is about to be really secured and for Ludicity, and they will look to secure even the second game of the series.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna go to a game 3 as Adagio. He's gonna survive barely, but BlueStack's gonna make sure he doesn't survive too much longer, as this game looks like it's in the bag of Ludicity right here. 21-9, 9,000 gold in the lead, and a Kraken bearing down.
Oh my god, this looks like it's going to be a 3-game series between these two teams, as Arn just looks to Vanguard to try and save himself from this engagement. Selmore, you're gonna just be careful, guys. You can't possibly just kind of look to save this Kraken. It's only 10 seconds before the Adagio comes up, but no, this strong engagement coming out from Ludicity.
The Oblivion was their last chance there, and it got blocked up. The Bear Vein Crystal is just going to be taken down. And, yeah, that was a solid game here from Ludicity to come back from behind and take the second game. As, you know, it was a really clean game. You know, the first game was very messy with all their team fights.
Well, yeah, but they did exactly what I said they needed to do, Burger. They picked a better comp. They got the Lancerona, which worked really well together. They got the Vox as well, which is very strong in CP right now. And they also played their comp really nicely. A lot more structured, a lot more kind of rounded in terms of their rotations, their objective focus. And I feel they actually surprised Infinity Rebirth. I don't think Infinity Rebirth expected this from Ludicity in the second game. But Ludicity, they went, no, don't count us out. You start respecting us. We are taking you to game 3. We are far from out of this series, far from out of the NACL. And we are here to try to prove something against you guys.
Yeah, no matter what happens, this game right here is going to be the last game in NACL Season 5 for one of these two teams. It could be Infinity Rebirth, or it could be the side of Ludicity. And as this desperation mode, I think, is kicking in for both of these teams, do you think we're going to see them play the meta, or maybe go towards their comfort picks that they know they can win on?
I think it's just going to be absolute destruction coming out from these two teams. They've got all to play for. There's absolutely nothing. There's absolutely nothing that these two teams have left to, so to speak, prove. It's going to be somewhat comfort picks, definitely, from both teams. I feel that they're going to just come out and just play these absolutely strongest heroes, not necessarily worry about drafting or counter drafting the enemy team. They're just going to try to pick the heroes that they really feel strongest playing on, because let's not forget, Infinity Rebirth could have been playing heroes that necessarily weren't quite in their strongest as a hero pool, even though Adagio and Samuel are quite strong. I want to get the draft ready. We are into the draft of Game 3 between Infinity Rebirth and Ludicity. It's going to be an instant cool ban coming out from Ludicity.
Yeah, do not want that one to go over to Infinity. Just making sure that Selma can't, or excuse me, that they can't get this power pick here. And Infinity Rebirth might have to rethink their strategy. You know, maybe Cruel is their strongest jungler right now, and their comp certainly seemed to revolve around that in the Celeste first game. And so with the second ban here, I'd like to see them target something that Ludicity played, and there's the standard respect ban out of Koshka.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised. I don't think they should have banned Koshka, because I don't think Koshka would have been picked up as a first hero coming out from Ludicity, but maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing, you know, if you were looking to respect the Koshka just that little bit more by taking it off the fold. But it does leave out so many strong heroes. CP
There's
Vox.
the Vox.
You don't really want to let the CP... I think CP Vox is stronger than...
and there's the Celeste going back onto
Celeste. I do believe it will be a Taka second ban coming out from Infinity Rebirth. It has to be, because Taka does counter Celeste quite well. So take it off the fold, give yourself the best chance of winning this game and kind of coming back from that second loss, because it's all to play for between these two teams.
Yep, as they're going to go into bonus time for the second ban here, Imperium. So in this last game, this desperation mode game, as I said, so you want to ban stuff that'll be... You want to ban a dive comp, basically, because Celeste excels in the backline, just cleaning up the squishier carries, and especially Vox. If Sonic Zoom's already been used, that's a solid 5 seconds where he can't really dash again, and that 5 seconds can be just enough to eliminate someone, as we see Taka getting banned right here.
It just made sense. It was the most logical choice of taking Taka off the table, but that's not to say that Ludicity cannot pick a comp that will be able to jump onto the Celeste. And if you're talking about heroes that will be able to do that, you're talking about Grace, you're talking about Rona. Rona is still possibly able to be picked up for either team. Maybe could be banned by Ludicity. They are going into bonus time. However, they've got a couple of options. You can take away Alpha, you can take away Grace, you can take away Arden. My best choice, I actually think, as far as taking away, could actually be Arden, because Arden with Celeste is quite nice, because Celeste, I think, works better when you have a captain that's able to really like jump back and support her. Grace, I don't think, can really do that as much as Arden. They do take Rona off the table, though.
Smart move there. Rona with Celeste can be very devastating, especially if we saw a Shiver steal like game 2, because Rona can just keep them close so that Celeste can rain down Helios. And if I'm Infinity, I'm looking for someone who can distract Vox, because we saw Suki playing it the first game, that as we see Lance getting picked up here, so almost the same comp as game 1, where Infinity Rebirth was able to steamroll.
Indeed. And you know what's really surprising is we see Lance in every game of this series. I can't remember last time I saw Lance kind of so regularly on the fold in a match series or in consecutive matches, and I've gotta say, it's a pleasure to see him back on the fold doing his thing with the awesome chain CC that we see. Echo playing a really strong part in that late game situation with the double Githy wall, double impale. If you're Ludicity, counter engage, counter dive. Do not give the Lance a chance to really play a free role as a support, and you want to pick heroes that are going to jump onto the Celeste. Go for an alpha. Weapon power alpha is something not to be sifted at with Spell Sword Breaking Point. Definitely a strong pickup potential. He's going to be able to help to jump onto the Celeste despite what Lance can do as a CC machine. Pick up Grace, pick up Alpha. You didn't have two strong frontline heroes that will really be able to kind of jump onto the Celeste. But time will tell, as they are past their time. I don't know what is going to happen if we're having issues with the draft. But all I know is that I'm very hyped for this match.
Yeah, and so, okay, hear me out here. Grumpjaw and Ozo would be two very good picks for Ludicity, I feel. Because Lance is going to want to stay close to Celeste, so that, as they do go with Blackfeather here, but Lance is going to want to stay close to Celeste to protect and boop away heroes that he doesn't want. And so if Ozo can just bounce, then he can bounce off of Lance and Celeste and just do a ton of damage. But they're going to pick up Blackfeather and Arden for Ludicity. A solid comp, especially the Blackfeather-Arden combo, which has been so strong and so meta since forever.
Yeah, Blackfeather is a hero that I kind of can't believe I forgot about. Was so strong in the last patch, but did kind of seem to be forgotten about as the likes of Alpha and Koshka and Cruel kind of really came back into the meta in 2.12. So Blackfeather is not a hero to be sniffed at. Is going to be able to jump onto Celeste, use the likes of the Rose Offensive to either block the Guillotine Wall or the Core Collapse, and then be able to shut down the Blackfeather. And if you're looking at Infinity Rebirth, you want to pick something like, let's say maybe
Grumpjaw.
An Ozo.
Yeah, okay, so
Ozo with the Lance, even though as I said, Celeste is going to be CP, you could put that CP in lane and then have an Ozo weapon power in the jungle. It's not something you sit at. It's not necessarily meta, but I really have seen dangerous weapon power Ozos.
Yeah, you know, meta be damned. You think in this final desperation game, just you need to do whatever works, and if that works for your team, then it works. And I've said it since day one. I just want to see one game of Grumpjaw, but Rhyme actually going to be picked up for Infinity Rebirth. Double CP or maybe a weapon Rhyme.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised, Burger. Logic tells me double CP, but the crazy part of my mind says weapon power Rhyme. Get that bad boy Rhyme into weapon power mode. Get him onto Spell Sword for that cooldown, which would be really good for his perk of fortified health. Then get him onto a breaking point, which he'll be able to build up those stacks really nicely. Because Infinity Rebirth have Lance, it does really help it does help Rhyme to get onto the enemy team, because an Impale and a Gizzy Wall really give Rhyme a strong advantage getting onto and shutting down either the Blackfeather or the Vox. So I like the comp coming out from Infinity Rebirth. If I was to call it between the two teams, Ludicity. Just because if it's double CP, all Ludicity need is shield. But if it's weapon power Rhyme, I'm giving it to Infinity Rebirth.
But you also need blocks for Ludicity. And if Arden opts to go for a Aegis instead of a Crucible, that's a Solar Storm that you don't block. That's a Githian Wall you don't block. That's a Valkyrie you don't block for your team. And if you go for the Crucible, then that's so much CP defense that you're giving up. So, it's really a toss-up here as to what strategies these teams are pulling out. And Selma is going to have those 2 weapon blades in his
Oh, thank you very much, Infinity Rebirth. You absolute monsters, you beasts. You pulling out this off-meta hero in the last game of this series. Whoever wins this moves forward onto the next round of Season 5 NACL. I want to get this
Nico. He escapes with his life, but barely. Core Collapse gonna stun up Sweaty, and here comes the basic attacks. The stars from above just doing so much damage, and there he goes. First blood to Infinity Rebirth.
Winter Spire, baby! Just getting that first blood. Fantastic core collapse that came out from Suki to really chunk down this Blackfeather, and then Rhyme did the job. It was really good by this Lance to kind of bait Ludicity, because it kind of like he went low in health, popped the flask, kind of went back, but then Ludicity kind of baited them, got baited, core collapse, shut down, happy days, strong start coming out from Infinity Rebirth in the last game of the series, and I'm very hyped for this game. Get it on the chat, guys. Who you want to see win this, and who you want to see go on over to the next round of the NACL. Oh, Burger, just, give me something here. Give me something.
I'll give you a really nice dodge out of that core collapse, but here comes the Impale and the double Githian Wall stun as Sweaty is gonna come up, miss the on point, but he's got the presence, and that's all he needs sometimes to make Suki back off. But here comes Rhyme on the flank. Sweaty might not be ready, but Kuronico going solo, he will fall from the Faint of Heart. And here comes Selma, gonna try to just force Sweaty away from his carry. And Suki just raining death here, really, as the farm leads are looking pretty solid across the board.
Look at Night Owl, though, doing that fantastic blood for blood damage, and does get that kill under the turret onto the Celeste. Oh my god, and then pulls out that just really kind of, yep, I just killed your carry emote, and really strong stuff.
Oh, Night Owl picked up that camp really nice. Nice, a little bit of taunt there, as they're gonna start up this sentry and just completely ignore Night Owl. As if you're Sweaty in stacks, I might want to think about rotating down. Did he pick it up? Oh, he did. He took the mid camp too. You absolute madman. He's just so good on Arden. We've already seen in these first 4 minutes what he can do. As Suki is just pushing this wave in. Celeste is so good at sieging turrets, as we know. And especially since Stacks is behind him in items, not having shopped yet, we can see that as the jungle intensifies, Sweaty is going to get rooted, impaled, not Githian walled, but he's going to get core collapsed, and that's just like 3 seconds where he's just standing there, not able to do anything, and Infinity Rebirth is just able to run around him and just do so much damage. Indeed,
and this is just going full hand between these two teams, maybe a little bit less structured as I'd like to see.
Is gonna dodge out of the core collapse, but it's gonna land on a Night Owl. He's so low, and he's gonna fall. BlueStack's left by himself with no energy.
Yeah, so as I said, it's a little bit kind of less structured as we've seen in the last couple of games. Both teams are just trying to do their best to get ahead. Maybe kind of feeling this last game hype a bit too much. They maybe just need to kind of, you know, pull it back a little bit, restructure themselves, kind of re-evaluate how they are rotating as a team, as we do see Too Sweaty being very dangerous on this Blackfeather in the early stages. Hasn't even gotten a full weapon power damage on him, and we've seen the damage that is going out on the suit.
Yeah, we see the bit of a turret siege being a bit aggressive, Ludicity is, but as Suki ports, now would be a perfect time to siege this turret, especially while the Celeste is back, and that's exactly what they're gonna do. The Impale's gonna miss, and Selma doesn't have any ranged, really, damage as a weapon power Rhyme, and first turret, really good objective management from Ludicity.
Yeah, you get the kill, you make a hero port back, you give yourself that little bit of control, and you do take advantage of really good stuff, and that's why I like to see coming out from Ludicity. It just really kind of gives them, it opens the map up for them on their side. It gives them a little bit more control. However, like I said, there just needs to be that slightly better structure from both teams. We are only 6 minutes into this game. There's very little goal difference between the two teams, I might add. Literally nothing. The two BlueStacks on this Vox is on 31 CS. Suki's on 34, so there's nothing between these two carries, as Nido is just holding the lane for BlueStacks.
Yep, we see a bit more engaged, but the Sweaty is just running through this backline as the Solar Storm's just only even clip Owl, but it'll be almost enough. Selma's fortified health is so big, and he's gonna stun Sweaty. Fountain Gary getting popped as he just tries to do as much damage as he can, and Selma will fall. BlueStack going so low. He's one basic attack away, and he will fall. Double kill for Ludicity. We see the structured team is going to be winning. We saw that from game 1 and game 2, as Kuro Nico is so dangerously low, and Sweaty is just going to be content with stealing a little bit of jungle.
Yeah, Too Sweaty Night Owl, see a little bit of jungle. I feel they actually could have gotten a strong chunk of damage on the turret, or even maybe a Crystal Sentry, as Selma is just trying to do his best to get onto Too Sweaty or Night Owl. This Rhyme is doing his best. Weapon power is definitely interesting. Different core class does come out. I will lead it over to you, Burger.
Oh, it's 500 damage already coming out of Helios, and he's already deleted. This is a great opening for Infinity to take an objective, take a Crystal Sentry and a Gold Mine possibly, or maybe even just a really good wave push, but they have to respect this damage coming out of BlueStacks already. His bounces are going to be doing so much damage already, especially on Suki, who we know does not like defense.
Exactly, and just one thing is that BlueStacks hasn't even got a Dragon's Eye. Once he gets Dragon's Eye, he's just going to be even more dangerous in these slightly elongated team fights, able to kite around and Rhyme. The Rhyme isn't really quite able to get onto BlueStacks right now. One thing that I didn't really point out is that Fox is a slight counter to the Lance, because Lance could go in on the Impale, and then the Vox can literally just kind of move out of the way, shimmy out of the way, and dodge that Impale, and it will give Ludicity even more goal advantage.
Oh, Blackfeather is actually going to pick up that Gold Mine, and that's such a great gauntlet, and then Celeste is going to get melted, and Fountain's going to be popped. BlueStack's taking a lot of damage from Selma, but he's sustaining in these fights, and he's going to fall as well. 6-6 now, even on kills, as Sweaty is just getting CC'd into the wall. Crystal Sentry going ham on him. He's going to go really low from Crystal Sentry. Forced to pop Flask already, but that objective will fall to Ludicity.
And look, you talk about, sorry, should I say, I talked about it. Dragon's Eye came out on BlueStacks as Suki is hit level 9, so it does have that extra range on the Helios, so it is going to be slightly more dangerous. Has got Dragon's Eye, Eve of Harvest on his side, so it's going to be able to, let's say, be a little bit more sustainable in these team fights. The weakest thing for Infinity Rebirth right now is this Rhyme. However, with the right engagement, I feel like we'll be able to do a little bit more in this game.
Yep, Sweaty gonna be just getting a ton of shielding here, staying alive as we see this 2v2 battle down here in the jungle. Selma's fortified health is just so much, but he's going low. Sweaty getting rooted, and he's so low already. The fountain's gonna be popped to keep him alive, but there's a solar storm. Take him. Suki dangerously low as well. He's gonna get deleted off the fold. And Selma is just gonna be left to defend against these two hyper strong carries, and there's the double kill. Kuro Nico gonna be forced to get out, and as this second game gets over towards mid game, who do you think has won the early game so far, Imperium?
Oh, 100% has gone over to Ludicity. Not necessarily because of their comp a little bit, but it's all coming down to this.
Oh, there's the final kill on the Lance there.
It just wasn't really worth kind of mentioning too much. Lance went down, you know, did a bit, but now we are seeing Ludicity. As you asked me, who has it gone over to? It's gone over to Ludicity because they're taking advantage of these kills. They're taking objectives. That's another sentry defeated. Only one life left on that sentry, and that all came down to just getting the kill on the Lance. That's the focus every team needs to take onto the fold, Burger. You want to go, okay, we got a kill, let's take an objective. We get another kill, let's take another objective. We get an ace, let's take loads of objectives. It will slowly build up to that point if you play the attitude right. So really good stuff coming out from Ludicity.
Yeah, and this is reminding me a lot of how Cloud9 used to play. They didn't go chasing kills, kind of like how Von C would do. Yeah. But if they got the kill, they would take a lot of objectives off of it. And they were really good at picking up on the other team's mistakes and abusing them. And so we're seeing Ludicity do that here. They took advantage of Lance's positioning, punished him for it, and we're seeing this maybe turret siege coming out of Suki.
Yeah, but I just want to point out, BlueStacks has got reflex block and an infusion, so that is just going to make Too Sweaty really, BlueStacks going to be really strong aggressive, but we are seeing Helios chunking down Ludicity and playing a big part. It's going to make...
Oh, what a perfect core collapse there. Night Owl drops down the gauntlet. Suki gonna be surviving just long enough. He's still alive somehow, and that's a double kill for... He had no business being alive that long, but Infinity Rebirth is gonna take the ace, and like we've been saying all night, kills, objectives, winning games.
Eve of Harvest, Suki, Helios, core collapses. Oh my god, you absolute Celeste god. That happened kind of so quickly, but so slowly at the same time that it just blew my mind. The second the Blackfeather got onto the Celeste, I kind of automatically thought into my head, yeah, that's Celeste over and done with. Don't really need to focus on it. But it was just, what? He's not dead? What? He's still not dead? What? He's gotten a kill? What? He's gotten a double kill? My god, fantastic stuff from Suki, and it really opens this game up.
Alright, Suki, time to show your skill again, Kuro. Huge solar storm gonna hit BlueStacks, but this is going very poorly now for Infinity. Suki the only one left alive, but he's gonna do a ton of damage. 1v3, Too Sweaty, taking so much damage. The shielding is gonna be enough, and that's an ace right back for Ludicity.
Oh my god, these two teams, as I said, are going full ham. It's so close. The goal difference is only 2k, and at the end of the day, at this stage of this game, it's really nothing. That's mainly came down to the slightly better objective focus that has come out from Ludicity, because they've not only got the Crystal Sentry eliminated, they've got another turn which has increased their goalie to over 3k, nearly 4k at this stage. So that's what I'm talking about as far as what Ludicity have done in this game. But like we saw, Infinity Rebirth have every chance in their arsenal to get back into this game, to take a team fight, to take an ace, as it's at the 14-minute mark, Burger. So less than a minute before Kraken spawns, and when Kraken spawns, that's when the fights really start to matter.
Yep, Suki gonna pick up a reflex block and some armor. So for the first time ever, I think we see with more than one defensive item, as the gauntlet's gonna come down, blocking out the core collapse. Suki's gonna get out of the gauntlet, okay, but Sweaty's gonna just tank that Solar Storm straight to the face. He's gonna get stunned, and Suki going so low, but he's still alive. Not anymore. Selma gonna do the best he can. The fountain gets popped for blue stacks. Valkyrie's gonna slow him up, but it's a 3v1. Rhyme can last a long time, but not that long. And this is just, this game is falling apart for Infinity Rebirth.
It's not outright falling apart. It's just the focus coming out from Too Sweaty to get on to Suki is really good, and it, as you've pointed out, it's forced Suki to get weapon power defense, and that makes this Celeste a lot weaker in these team fights because he's only got Dragon's Eye, Evil Harvest, Broken Myth. There's no Clockwork, which means he's not. Suki
he does a Solar Storm, and oh, he's not gonna get it. Infinity just stole the Kraken with the one basic attack from Suki was all that they needed, and Ludicity is trying desperately to port home. That was such a clutch play.
Third game in the series, Burger. Kraken gone over to Infinity Rebirth when we both felt that it was going to be secured by Ludicity. This is just opens this map wide open. The game, this series, it's coming down to this Kraken push and what Infinity Rebirth can do with it. But no, Ludicity are pushing Infinity Rebirth back so they can just look to chunk down this Kraken as quickly as possible without taking too much damage on these turrets, Burger.
That huge Solar Storm gonna take down blue stacks, but he's got a bit of defense now, not doing a whole lot. And there goes the first turret and about a half health Kraken. If Infinity Rebirth plays this well, they can take this second turret as well. And stuns up Night Owl, rooted, blocks the second stun, but he's gonna get rooted again by Rhyme, and they're fighting back now, but they still have to deal with this Kraken. This second turret's gonna fall here very shortly, and Infinity Rebirth on the back foot as they're gonna be trapped inside this gauntlet, but stunning up and rooting Sweaty. That's enough. That's gonna be. Celeste falls, but so does Arden. Blue Stack's the last one alive to contest here, and Selma will back off.
Whoa, that was a great Kraken push that came out from Infinity Rebirth, Burger. They did, considering, yeah, okay, Celeste is great at kind of zoning out and repositioning, and is actually a great hero to have on your side when it comes to Kraken pushes. Suki has been the hero, the MVP of this match so far. As we've seen him get into level 12, even though it felt... Now, one thing to point out, he did sell the reflex block and went for the Clockwork. That is really vital. Yes, okay, the reflex block does leave him a little bit exposed to the gauntlet, but you're seeing this Lance providing so much CC and defense for the Celeste, and the trust that's coming out from Suki onto the rest of his team, and especially Lance, shows how much strength we are seeing in this late game, because that Clockwork means that he's able to spam out those Helios, and the core collapse is so much better.
Yep, and we're seeing Infinity Rebirth being aggressive again, pushing Ludicity back. They don't want to commit to anything that might result in an ace, because one more ace can be the end of the game, especially as Kraken's going to come up in the next 30 seconds or so. And Infinity Rebirth, they may not be leading on paper, but they're leading in the heads of Ludicity.
They are definitely winning the mental game right now, and at least the map control game, as the Kraken is looking to be captured by Infinity Rebirth. They're looking to try and edge this game out, really possibly. Full respect to these two teams, as we are going to see
no vision. They can't even see it.
Kraken.
But here comes Ludicity. It's going to be down to the wire, and it's going to go to the giant Solar Storm. This game is going towards Infinity Rebirth so well, and they're going to get this ace buff as well, as Blue Sax is going to get endlessly rooted and CC'd. He will fall, Sweaty stunned into the wall, rooted into oblivion, and he's going to get annihilated. And Night Owl, the only one left, as this full health Kraken is marching down. And oh my gosh, Infinity Rebirth turning this game around.
Definitely, but Night Owl is doing his best to try and, let's say, distract Infinity Rebirth and, let's say, give every possible chance of pushing down and kind of saving them and stopping the Kraken from winning. But it is an ace. 13-second death timer for the Vox as the Lance does roll over the wall, and now Suki is just doing that massive helio damage. 507 on each helio. Absolutely disgusting, and we are seeing the turtles go down. Take us away, Burger. Fold us out.
That is gonna be Game 3 Infinity Rebirth, sending Ludicity home in such a demanding fashion. Wow, Imperium, that was such a good game. It looked like Ludicity had it until the Kraken spawned, and then the insane steal from Suki just turned the tide so far into Infinity Rebirth's favor, and then from that point on, the game was just in the bag.
It's like that Kraken steal was a bolt of lightning for Infinity Rebirth. It was like a rush of adrenaline through their blood that made them go, no, we are still in this. They took the risks needed. They really protected the Celeste. There's nothing that Ludicity could really do to kind of get onto the Celeste, because we saw Lance providing impale after Githing wall after impale after Githing wall, and then just Celeste once got the clockwork was just spamming out those helios, getting kill after double kill after kill after double kill, and we saw that really helped secure the game for Infinity Rebirth.